Yeah.
Hey, boys.
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
What's
buddy.
up? How we
Welcome to the
doing, guys?
show.
Hey.
Thank you for
Good.
having
How
me
are you?
on. I've got a couple fun facts on the things that you guys just discussed.
Okay.
Please.
First of all, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the pit bull in Detroit that ran back inside of a burning building and led firefighters to a baby.
We just talked about that, Eric. And
was that the one he was trying to eat? Was he trying to run back in there to eat the baby?
No, that was this week.
He likes him cooked.
That was a lab mix.
Okay.
It was a lab mix pit bull. The lab kicked in.
The dog was like, you know what? I got saved from the fire, but man, you know what that smell when the grill gets going.
Gotta get in there.
There's that one, and then for Mexico, how it's got 2 cities in the top 10. And like Mexico is becoming more and more of a tourist destination for people around the world. Granted, the events this week might put a damper on that, but it's because they did not do anything during COVID. They didn't like restrict
Florida
travel.
style.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, Mexico went Florida, and they said, you know what? Right now we get a bad reputation. Let's just open our cities up to everybody. If anybody wants to come to town and visit.
Yeah,
you can do it. And so
there's only one shot you'll take here, and it's a bullet.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out Mexico. I think the strategy worked for them, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people are still going to cartel run states. It's not really stopping anyone from going there.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it got Ron DeSantis like in the presidential talk. Basically the same move. So
yeah,
it's huge. Well, hey PFT. You're here to discuss a couple things, but specifically before we get into exactly what we're going to get into, I got to ask you, how's your tea? How's your level of tea right now?
I'd say it's high.
You think it's high?
I'm getting off like a 5.5, 6 inch tea right now. Yeah.
Right. Have you noticed any gains since you've gone on your masturbation strike?
Balls feel heavier.
Hell yeah.
Denser, I would say.
They hurt.
It's like I got two like spheres of tungsten. In my
How long have you been doing this? How long have you not masturbated? Or
tell the people what you're doing.
5 days. I'm in day 5 right now.
Those are dense balls.
Those are long days. Nights are even longer.
What are you chaining yourself to the wall?
Sex? Yeah.
No, it's not a sex strike. I want to be very clear about that. It's not a coming strike.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
It's a masturbation strike. So
You're sitting on your hands right now?
you got left hand up, right hand up.
It's like a werewolf.
I will. I do have like a bad cut, a bad blister on my right pinky finger, which is probably making it easier on me actually to abstain. But no, I think it's time that I took matters into my own hands, for lack of a better word.
Right.
And what power do I have? Well, I've got a pretty powerful one. I've got the bully pulpit right now, and so I'm showing Snyder I mean business now.
Give some context, PFT. Give some context, please.
All right, so I did. Well, I'm on a masturbation strike until Dan Snyder sells the team. I don't know why I said it. Schefter was talking to me about how I would react if Lamar became a commander, and I told him I would come on him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I would just come.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that'd be exciting. It would be for sure.
Yeah, I actually probably would come, because I genuinely think if the Commanders got Lamar Jackson, we could go to the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah,
Well, Eric Bieniemy, baby. Yeah,
anyone with
a
a
big pickup.
Well, let's talk about this, PFT, because I feel like for the last 2 months you have been doing your part as a Commanders fan, and it started with this fantastic Photoshop. I mean, like, I don't know who your Photoshop guy is, but goddamn, he is fantastic. They photoshopped Lamar Jackson into a Commanders Letterman jacket.
They basically just replaced Wentz with Jackson.
Right, but they did a great job.
Upgrade.
Wentz.
You threw a classic, is this real, on the comment there, and it really got people thinking.
What if? And
then the Schefter thing, you set up essentially a fake news break that Lamar Jackson was coming to the Commanders. Huge. And now, where are we? What's going on? People are saying that Dan Snyder, he's gonna leave. He's got to leave effectively.
The owner said they'll vote him out. Hopefully,
he's gonna get lost, and he might. What is there a truth to the rumor?
What's
that
the
he might throw a lemon?
What's the timetable?
So first of all, Schefter did the fake news. He did the fake scoop. We didn't engineer that with Schefter.
You're the guy that did the Photoshop. So I'm just okay. Yeah, okay.
I
There's a coincidence.
I had our Photoshop guy Shane make a series of Photoshops, not understanding that it took him like 2 hours to put together these exquisitely done Photoshops because he takes a lot of time on them.
Yeah, they're really good.
Then I stopped and I was like, well, there's better things that Shane could be using his time on than just to like fulfill my fantasy that will probably never happen. So we curtailed my Photoshop requests after finding that information out. But
I think I texted you right after I saw that. I was like, this guy's really good. You're like, yeah, I know. He's pretty good, right? He's just doing a lot of them for me.
Yeah. I had him working full time doing Lamar Jackson Photoshops for about a week. He would just send me like 3 a day, and I'd be like, okay, oh yeah, these are great. So so Schefter teased me with the Lamar news, which was made up. He made that up, but I do think it makes a lot of sense. Snyder is in an interesting position right now because he's been asked and kind of nudged to sell the team relentlessly over the last, since probably like 15 years, I'd say, is when like, everyone reached their wits end with Snyder, probably like 2000. No, because in 2003 he got Gibbs back, which bought him a little bit of a grace period.
The second Gibbs was the biggest, it was the biggest tease of all time. Because you're right, it gave Snyder like an extra couple decades, and that
Zombie
was
Gibbs.
This was Shanahan days we're talking.
It was the waste.
Those are bad. Those are bad.
I'd say he brought back Shanahan after Gibbs, right?
After Gibbs, yeah.
There's a very very unforgettable moment in Redskins history in between Gibbs and Shanahan, the Jim Zorn era.
Of course,
that's
Zorny
when
for Zorny.
That's when it became like you're not winning this franchise back. When he banned people from bringing signs to the stadiums because too many people were making fun of him with those signs. So that's when the fan base reached their wits' end. Was probably, I'd say, 2008, 2009.
Right.
All right.
PFT, let's talk about that real quick. The sign thing, because a couple days ago at the XFL game. Which Audi Field is really too classy of a field for an XFL game to be played on, but that's what it's called. This happened.
It's like a fun event. I'll go to an XFL game.
Yeah. Listen.
And what were they saying there, PFT? That's, I mean, what did you hear?
I think they were saying, "Let's go, Daniel." Is what I heard.
I thought that too.
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty obvious that the fan experience at Audi Field during Defenders games is 50 times better than the fan experience at FedEx Field
during
awesome. Commanders games. Yeah, Defenders games are fun. Commanders games are not fun. It has to do with the stadium, the location of the stadium, which is awesome for Audi Field, and just like the fact that you're getting to cheer for a football team that's winning a couple games and is not owned by a ridiculous creep. That's basically it. So it's just refreshing to be able to have a team that you feel good about rooting for. So I like what the fan base is doing there. They're building cup snakes. They're doing all that fun stuff. None of the stuff that you could do ever in a million years at FedEx Field. And if you tried to build a cup snake, the weight of the bleachers would just crumble underneath it.
Not enough people.
That stadium's falling. Yeah, that's true. There wouldn't be enough people to hold it or to drink beer, and all the beers would be expired anyways. So
the whole FedEx Field era, honestly, because that was like it got built right before it got sold to Snyder.
Yeah.
Everything about. I just wish you could delete everything about the FedEx Field era. They need to just demo that to the ground.
Well, you might
the franchise will never. It's the shittiest stadium in the league. The franchise never going to overcome in the horrible history that comes along with it. You just have to fucking start over. It's the whole FedEx Field era, which is in Rowljohn, Maryland. They moved it there and named the town Rowljohn after Jack Kent Cook's two sons morphed the name together. It's the stupidest fucking thing. They just need to level it. It's
a lot of times people don't realize that, because I call it Rowljohn too as a joke. But when they moved there, the name of the zip code that just had the stadium was officially changed to Rowljohn. They called it Rowljohn. Yeah.
It's sick. Having money is sick. Well, Will, some are saying that. Go ahead, Mark.
We're here now. What is? How long could this strike be? Like, when is this vote on the owners? And like, because Bezos is kind of cooled down. Bezos is kind of cooled down. It seems like on Biden.
They said no to Bezos.
So good question. They're in a game of chicken right now. They're playing. I'm playing a game of choke the chicken, but they're looking at each other where they're trains coming at each other. And there's been there are leaks that come out saying how Snyder is not going to sell the team. I actually heard that Snyder's not going to sell to Bezos, not necessarily because of his personal beef with Bezos. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. but Dan Snyder's wife, Tanya Snyder, doesn't want him to sell to Bezos. And that makes sense.
Operations.
It makes sense because she is like, the Washington Post has dragged her husband's name through the mud.
Right.
They've unearthed all these sexual harassment things.
He is kind of the reason he's having to sell. Yeah.
A million percent. It's like, so Tanya Snyder is seeing the Washington Post as being representative of like people that she thinks has been lying about her husband and smearing his name. Now, that's not to say that like
give me a break.
Snyder didn't do all this stuff, but if you're a ride or die wife and you somehow believe that Snyder's innocent, then that would
no
make
way
sense
she still believes it, dude. No way. She's after decades and decades of employees, female employees, come out all saying that it was that kind of environment. She still believes that her husband didn't.
But I get it though. It's kind of
that.
This is kind of like making the neighborhood look bad to lower the price of housing and then going in and buying the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Snaking up all the deals.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want that to happen.
I get that.
That's some rose tinted glasses. Believe in his ass.
She's firing back, or he's firing back through his little back channels, namely the New York Post. If anything's leaked to the New York Post, that's Snyder. That's Snyder that's doing that. If it's the Wall Street Journal, that's Snyder that's doing that. New York Times, possibly Snyder that's doing that. Now, there's other reports that are coming out from the Post and the Washington Post and ESPN, and those are the other owners that are leaking those out. So the speculation is that they asked Snyder politely, and they said, sell the team, get the wheels in motion, and we'll back off the Mary Jo Washington report that's going to be coming out about you. We won't drag your name through the mud any further under the agreement that you will move forward to sell the team.
Right.
He stalled that a little bit. So now the big move that the owners have, they have an owners meeting right now that's taking place. But the most important owners meeting is going to happen at the end of the month. And that's when it looks like Jim Irsay might get back on his extremely high horse and try to galvanize the support, because the other owners want him out of the league. He's costing them money. He might even be stealing money from the owners. Because
let's talk about that. So Dan Snyder, he allegedly took out a $55 million loan, right, or half of Wentz, half of Carson Wentz's salary, against the Commanders without telling his, quote, minority partners.
What does that mean?
What do you mean?
What does it mean? What do you mean against the? Oh, you're saying
on
their books? On their books?
Yeah, he took out a loan, a $55 million line of credit, right, or half of Wentz, or two Wentz's, out on the Commanders' books. Didn't tell his partners, and then they had to bring in an arbiter who was actually former Bronxville High School 3-sport star athlete Roger Goodell. He arbitrated it. What do you think he spent the $55 million on?
Hopefully not more Wentz's.
Doesn't he have to disclose it?
Well, $4.5 million was to put that logo on the plane right there. That was 4.5.
I respect that. I respect that move from Snyder, where he is charging the team money for him to put their logo on his private jet.
Well, he didn't get rich by by spending his own money.
That's true. Yeah, but what Pat's alluding to is the fact that he took out this line of credit on the team, just saying, like, I've got all this value in the team. You should give me $55 million because I'm good for it. I'm backing it up with the price of the franchise, the value of the franchise.
I've got the jet. Everything.
Yeah, I got the jet. I can slap 10 more logos on it.
Commanders merch is flying off the shelves.
They're buying every year. Every year we change the name, they buy more.
Yeah, he used his stake in the team as collateral for a $55 million loan.
He did. Now, here's where it gets interesting is because he didn't tell the other partners that he had that he was taking out this line of credit. And when Bank of America was, whenever you get a line of credit, when you get a loan from a bank, they need to check your collateral. They did not check the collateral. They didn't check with the other owners, the other major stakeholders of the Commanders. And they kept asking Snyder to send over documentation saying that the board had approved it with the other shareholders on there. And he kept stiff-arming them, never sent them that information, and they gave him the loan anyway. So it looks bad for Bank of America. It looks bad for Dan Snyder. It looks really bad. Like, if you're a minority owner of the Commanders, then you're just basically like you're cucked by Dan. He did what he wanted to. And so there's that, which is going to be an issue for the league. But also there was a report that came out last year that Snyder has two separate finance books. One where he makes his profits seem less than they truly are, because that way I think every team has to split like 40% of ticket revenue, somewhere in that neighborhood.
He was shorting the paybacks, basically.
With every other team in the league, all the other owners get a cut.
That's stealing, yeah.
And so when you can harass 500 flight attendants and the other NFL owners won't do shit about it. But the second you steal $10,000 from them, they're like, get this motherfucker out of here.
Now he might be stealing from them. Now, also, what if this $55 million went into him paying PIs to investigate the other owners, which they don't like, and then also potentially shut up some of these people that he's been sexually harassing? Yeah. Like, those are all bad.
I think, I honestly think at this point that Dan Snyder actually does have dirt through those PIs on the other owners and on Goodell. Like when you saw the Jerry Jones war. Yeah. You saw the Jerry Jones picture that got resurfaced last year of him standing on the steps.
Where he was blocking integration.
Yeah, he's blocking. Well, he was standing with a group that was blocking.
Where he was curious about integration. I'm sorry, he was curious about it. He said, I don't know.
He was hugging his water bottle or his water fountain.
Yeah. So I just want to see what it's all about.
I've been caught in a lot of compromising positions in my life. I don't think that there's going to be a picture that can come out of me blocking integration anywhere. But Jerry Jones was in that picture, and the speculation, at least from me and a lot of other people, is that Snyder, his PI, found that picture, which had already existed and some people had seen already, but it resurfaced for a reason, and that's Snyder. And the reason why the John Gruden email got leaked, that's Dan Snyder.
Right, that was Snyder for sure.
Snyder's got a suicide vest right now. And he's basically challenging anybody to come at him so he can detonate.
I've always been saying this whole time, just because I've been beaten down as a commies fan, that I don't expect him to ever sell. I think they will have to force him.
The conclusion is that he's out by the end of the year. That's the conclusion that the writers, the sports writers, are saying.
Not masturbating.
They might be able to force him out. And at that point, I will force him out myself, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so I think the beauty of Jim Irsay leading the charge is that everything that Jim Irsay's done has been, like, all of his fuck ups have been very public. So it's tough to get dirt on a guy that has made all of his many mistakes out in public. That's true. He can go at Dan, and there's nothing behind him that you can bring to light that we already haven't heard about Jim Irsay. So I think Irsay
I would disagree with you there, but he could still go after him.
I think Irsay.
Was there another integration situation? Was that the only integration we had in this? We should check.
I don't know Jim Irsay. So he grew up in, I think, Baltimore and Indianapolis. What years were those? What was the school system like that? I don't think that Jim Irsay is involved in an integration.
I want to check the microfilm.
50 years drinking spirits. I think there's probably some stuff.
Do you have any kind of a event planned for, when you're able to jerk off, like a celebration of any kind? Like
I might videotape it, but but you won't be able to see like my hand or my dick or anything.
Just your head,
just the money shot.
Just the head. Right. You should do what Gainer Bull did and come on like a commie's pizza or something. Or
you should do that.
I'll put up like a dartboard.
Yeah.
But it's like a bullseye with Dan Snyder's face
there
on
you go.
On the wall.
Oh yeah,
come on
definitely
Snyder's
on to
face.
Snyder.
Do you think he knows?
6 yards away and try to hit it.
Do you think you've reached him? Do you think the strike has reached him?
I think this is pretty powerful stuff here. So I'd be surprised if this hasn't come across his desk.
He's feeling the heat.
Come across his face.
I did something similar to this back in 2014 with Rob Ryan. I said no Rob, no rub. Where I encourage people to kind of take a similar stance until Rob Ryan got a job to interview for a head coaching position in the NFL. That
you cut it at interview, huh? So
didn't work. Yeah, you were.
I was a bit ambitious with that one.
I don't know if you had as much backing on that one as you do on this one.
This could turn out to be just a GIF because it might be like a 3-second thing if it goes too long here.
Yeah,
we need a jingle for this one.
Yeah.
New owner.
I don't know if news has reached him yet. I know that it's definitely reached high levels in the Washington Commanders.
He's seen it. He knows.
The hunger strike doesn't do anything the first week. You know what I mean? You really gotta starve.
Right.
You know what I'm
week
saying?
Two, week
for it
three,
to be impactful.
As a good friend, I feel bad for you, so I'm going to go ahead and jerk off every day that he is the owner from now on. I'll counteract what you're doing. So starting today, I'm going to jerk off every day that Snyder's still in charge.
Twice. You need to feed the children PSA video out there, like a really well done, like you looking sad because you can't jerk off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
with like a bunch of tabs open in front of you.
Yeah. All these unused tabs. Yeah.
Full bottles of lotion everywhere.
On the Wings of Angels playing in the background.
It's like Gandhi-like in a way.
Right.
Yeah, it's very
Be the change you want to skeet in the world.
PFT, one question: is Lamar going to happen? Like what is he doing with Lamar? There are rumors, right, that he's gonna throw cash and then dump. Is there any truth to that?
I have basically been wishing those rumors into existence. I don't know if it's actually possible. It's definitely possible, and it does make sense if you're Dan Snyder and you're being forced out by the other owners. Then give Lamar a giant contract that's fully guaranteed, and then that resets the market value for every quarterback, and then all the other owners will be screwed in the future.
You also potentially nuke the rest of your team by giving him a deal that gets nullified with an injury. But I mean,
couldn't he do that with a worse quarterback though? If he
he could re-sign Wentz. He could bring Wentz back.
Yeah. Right, that's a great point, Mark. He wouldn't have to get Lamar.
He doesn't have
Lamar
to give you guys Lamar.
No, because here's why he could get Lamar. Snyder's a Commanders fan. He was born and raised in the area. He's a fan of the team. He knows that his legacy right now is dog shit. So what better way to leave than fuck over the other owners while at the same time being like, here's my parting gift to the team. And then if they go on to win anything, then it becomes like, look what a great job that I did. You know,
right. I hope it works out that way. I mean, I'm with you on the optimism about that, but it's just, I don't know. Like I said, Dan Snyder has beaten me down to the point. Like I just remember, like all my memories of FedEx Field is like you go there and everybody's wearing like the Snyder's a devil T-shirt, and then like it's just like everybody fucking has hated him for so long, and it's because he won't ever leave us alone. And so it's like I just feel like he's not going to stop leaving us alone, like on his own accord.
He'll probably come up with a way to screw us over in the future. I don't think that my story of fighting against Dan Snyder is over yet. But I also heard that he has a place in London. That's where he wants to move to. That would be wonderful. Like go overseas, buy an EPL team, and then just torment a poor British fan base.
They'd kill
any other fan base. Please.
They actually would, Mark.
He's gonna buy Leeds. He's gonna buy Leeds.
Oh, that would be horrible. Not the Pods soccer team. No.
That would be very funny.
I gotta ask you about, because this NFL shit's garbage right now. I got one question about the XFL. So did you catch the game?
Which one? Defenders?
The Defenders, St. Louis Battlehawks.
The game.
I saw parts of it. I didn't watch.
Okay. Well, during the ceremonial end of game brawl that capped off the Washington Defenders' defeat of the Battlehawks, one of the commentators remarked of like the melee that was taking place, quote, "This is not what the XFL is about." And to you, I want to ask, if not free violence, what is the XFL about?
That's it. Do you know what the X stands for? It's extreme.
Right.
It stands for extreme football. So yes, you should. That reminds me of a very funny tweet. It was a couple years ago when there was a college bowl game that was going on. I forget the teams that were playing. I think it was Mississippi State, and I forget who they were playing against. But they got into a massive fight as the time expired on the field. And then I think it was John Boyce that tweeted out, "Guys, stop. This type of violence is not what the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl is all about." but yeah, it's you should be allowed to brawl in the XFL for sure, and they're probably secretly happy about it. I like the idea of having announcers for XFL games that are similar to how wrestling announcers have always been. Whether it was like Jerry Lawler at the time, like somebody that's just totally sticking up for the boss, like, oh, Mr. McMahon, it's a disgrace you would do this.
Oh no,
that guy.
This is a shame.
I love that guy. So I'm okay with announcers saying it, but I would heavily encourage more fighting in the XFL.
They should introduce like a combination penalty box / like battle arena into it. So if there was like if two guys wanted to go at it, like a bull in the ring style, for football terms, if two guys wanted to go at it, they could like time out the game real quick, cart in the octagon, have these two just fucking go to town.
Think about the ratings, dude.
What about even like on
random going?
Instead of bringing out the chains on like 4th and inches, like to get the first
you
down.
You could fight for it. You have fight for an inch.
Yeah, you fight for the first down. Yeah,
you could fight for a foot. Yeah, exactly. You could just fist fight for a foot.
They should just randomly
turn
drop
over on downs.
box on the field like they do with like wild feral pigs, and then whoever's inside the box has to
Can't
fight.
Get out. Oh shit! The rest of the game goes on around them.
There's like 7 drones that just lower.
Exactly.
Right. It drops it on him.
Could be 8-on-1. Could be even. You never know.
You're roping me in.
Fight for an inch. Yeah, I like it. That's actually a great idea. I hope that somebody that's with the
have you ever have you talked to the new ownership group, The Rock?
I don't. I have not talked to the ownership group, and I've been frustrated by that because I've been wanting to be involved.
By that, or
they have not made contact.
If The Rock knew what he was doing, he'd reach out to you. So hopefully,
I would love to be involved. And our XFL coverage will be slim to none until such time that he does reach out.
Well, he's been busy with all that DC comic stuff, so hopefully he gets a clear view of the XFL field,
well,
reaches out to you, makes
he turned down WrestleMania this year. They're trying to get him for WrestleMania. He's tough to get a hold of. Yeah.
Can you do 2 masturbation strikes?
Until The Rock talks to you?
Yeah. Nothing's going up my butt either.
You could have 2 alternate endings.
Keep it out your butt. Is this what you wanted, Rock?
But it's catchy because you can talk about like not getting your rocks off till The Rock or something. There's something there with the
there is.
Yeah.
We'll workshop it. It is. Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm focused on one thing at a time right now.
It's true. You don't want to spread yourself too thin, especially when you're talking about masturbation.
My hands are very full at the moment.
No, they're not.
Well, we wish you luck. We wish you luck out there. Stay strong.
Yes, sir.
Keep the tabs minimized.
Yep. Absolutely.
And go Commanders.
Go Commies. Take command.
Did we just say go Commies? Is that our thing? Go Commies.
Yeah, someone dropped. What's the thing that we say that they didn't even get out to the fucking fans? Someone
That's
dropped it
our
on
thing.
me. They dropped something that you say. Someone said it to me, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, you're not a Commanders fan? I'm like, "Bro."
Left hand up is the thing they say, but I mean,
yeah, what the fuck is this?
Go C's.
They have a shitty team and a shitty front
we got
office.
go
with
Commies,
communications.
take command, or left hand up. We'll someday we'll have a cool fucking saying.
Left hand up,
it's
PFT.
not
you think that's a
happening
parting joke by Snyder to rename the commies? Do you think that's like
Yeah.
a fuck you?
I think
do.
I think it might have been. Although, like, there is some credence to the fact that if you change the team name every year, you do have to buy more merchandise.
Yeah.
And that's really the only way anybody does it. So that's a good point you guys brought up. He might change it one more time on his way out. Although, here's a realistic scenario though. Like, if an owner buys the team right now, what better time to rebrand than right after you purchase it, right? And it's only been the Commanders for 1 year, so there is a chance that somebody buys the team and then next year we revert back to the football team, and then the following year we unveil the new brand.
You could have
the
5
Hogs.
names, 5
Yeah.
years. Oh,
Yeah. So
the
we
Hogs
could
would
do
be better.
Football
Red
team
Hogs,
2.0,
Hogs would be
and then
awesome.
transition.
The football team's a transition name.
Sounds like a bright future in Washington.
Yep.
It really does.
Lots of possibilities.
Mark's
you know?
already going to Super Bowls, and I'm writing fan fiction about a team name getting changed twice in the next 2 years again.
Hopefully
that's my dream.
Look, Eric Bieniemy was a great get. So I think if you're looking at the team, if you actually care about the nuts and bolts of the actual football playing, I think that they're making some decent steps. So
Yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll see how long this lasts.
but it'll never happen until Snyder's gone. That's the whole point of that whole era has to be behind us before we'd actually ever have a good cohesion.
There was another story that came out when they gave the entire team an F- across the board for their team grades, and that was voted on, by the way, by players, by like 1,600 players. The Commanders got by far the lowest grades of anybody else. But there are stories that were coming out that hot water got shut off multiple times at the practice facility, that vendors weren't being paid, so they didn't have their food for recovery or post-practice meals. And I heard that the electricity got shut off one time this year. It's not good. It's not.
That tracks
these are
Snyder.
not good problems to have.
I know that you've, and I couldn't fucking believe it when you did it, but you're at this level. I know that you sometimes text coaches right during the game, which I think is ridiculous that you do that sometimes. But isn't this now a time to throw it all at the wall? Because I bet you could get Lamar Jackson's number, right? Like, can't you make a play? Can't you do something a little bit unethical and really try to send him in that direction?
I think I'm 2 degrees of separation away from Lamar's number. Because I have Danny Woodhead.
Well, you're not beating off right now, so it sounds like it's not an insurmountable task.
Yeah, it's true. I got a lot of time. A lot of time. So Danny probably has Lamar's number.
He does, for sure.
I could ask him. And
do the right thing.
I'll just send him all the Photoshops.
Yeah, look how much we want you.
Yeah, just like Eric. Just
Look at how good you look.
Yeah.
He's not going to know what number it is. So you just
Red's
send
your
him
color, man.
You just send him like your scroll of your best photoshops and then just a bunch of fire flame emojis. And that's it. And he doesn't even know who it is.
Yeah.
And he just gets
He'll know
hit
it's hot though.
He's like, wow, I look great in these fucking uniforms. Like,
don't identify yourself. I agree. Just send him the photoshops first.
And then if he follows up and he's like, oh, this is hot.
Who did
is
these?
this?
Yeah.
This is all the time.
Mara, we
Let
would
him know.
treat you so good.
This is the best recruiting I've ever had. Even better than the whores at Louisville.
Right. You're gonna regret it if you
This
don't
is
do
it
it.
here.
Yeah, maybe I should get some whores.
Yeah, you might want to go for the horse.
You want to do the whole thing, yeah. You definitely want to get lined up with a good brothel, good.
Some DC whores.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us, bud.
Yeah, love you guys.
Love you too, buddy.
Love you too, man. Later.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Text
Come on
Lamar.
back.
Figure out how to text him.
I'm gonna ask Danny if I can get Lamar's number.
I think it's wise.
Good luck with the Snyder thing too.
If
gotta
not
get
now,
back to
then
Lamar.
when? You know.
It's now or never, honestly.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
Later.
Bye.